Just to top this episode off, you brought up the comedian, and I mentioned it earlier. Alan Moore has like a thing for putting nudity in his books, in his comics, especially male nudity. But he also likes putting female nudity in there, and especially like I think he has a thing for older women with like big hairy bushes. But whatever.
He looks like
Uh,
he does. I'm looking at a picture of this guy
well, that's
right
what I'm
now.
saying. He's got like this wizardy like look to him, and I think he thinks he's a wizard too. So he's a weirdo. But
He's
the
an
thing is,
occultist, a ceremonial magician, and an anarchist. Continue.
a ceremonial magician. How do you become one of those? Anyway, um, I'm reading From Hell, which is the story of Jack the Ripper, and first of all, the amount of male penises is insane. The amount of hairy bushed like prostitutes, insane. Now, admittedly, the story is about prostitutes being killed by Jack the Ripper, but I have to question if Alan Moore has. It's like Quentin Tarantino and his feet thing. At some point, you just got to be like, Alan, what's going on here? Because I've read other of his stuff, and most of his other work revolves around some sort of sex or sexual cult or sexual violence or something like that. Because as you remember in Watchmen, the comedian rapes one
That's right.
the woman,
Jupiter girl.
the Jupiter girl, I think her name is. Yeah, I couldn't remember but it's Carla Gugino in the movie, and the daughter become like his. That's his daughter, the
Right.
new, which is like a big thing in the whole like concept of the movie or of the book. And so, I guess what I'm trying to get to is someone needs to talk to Alan Moore. That motherfucker is crazy. Someone needs to put him somewhere and watch him, make sure he's not doing anything nefarious because
Well, yeah.
he gets into some weird stuff because so in From Hell, this is what's fucking crazy because this is why I'm like enjoying reading it to a degree. The guy who is killing the prostitutes is like having these like insane visions when he does it of like the future and like gods and like hell and stuff like that. And it's done in such a way that makes you go, "What the fuck is this? Is crazy." And like, see, Watchmen is a it's a good story too because like the sexual stuff isn't really brought to you. Just he's like, "Hey, what if a big blue man had a big penis too?" That's really the extent plus the comedian thing. But I don't know, man. I'm starting to question because I read some of his other stuff that revolve around like H.P. Lovecraft and stuff like that, and it was very much in the same vein of like some weird sex stuff and I'm just, am I a prude? Am I I think that's the question I'm getting to is like, when I see like Florence Pugh in
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer and she's getting naked in it, I'm like, darling, you don't need, not for this.
Well,
You don't need
so
to be doing it for this. And I admit, like, that's what I'm saying. I think I've become a prude and I'm just like, ew, sex and
think
boobies.
about it this
Like,
way too. It's like so again, and I've been having this. It's funny. I've been kind of having this discussion with multiple friends lately. All of them feel, but
okay. And that's you, that's who,
but I mean the reason why I say that is because it's like what we were talking about is how granted like there's the woke movement, there's the consent, like America doesn't have the greatest relationship with nudity and
no.
sexuality. Especially, I mean, like
We
it's just
were a puritanical beginnings, but yeah.
right, but at the same time, it's just like so were other countries. I mean, but Europe,
True.
like a naked guy walking down the street, which is not really something you want to see necessarily.
No.
It wouldn't shock them nearly as much as us. Remember when we were at the store and that lady was walking around naked? When I looked at you, I was like, "Hey, is
That
she
was a
naked?"
that was crazy.
That was wild. I mean, walking middle of the day down one of the busier streets in the area, completely
Mhm.
naked. Your mom handled it very well, by the way.
She
But
did, yes.
yeah,
She
she
was like,
handled it.
"Here's a
She's like,
blanket.
yeah, she's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Fuck you." And your mom's like, "There's no need for that." And
Hey, we don't."
and then she's like, "Here's a towel." She's like, "Okay." Yeah, like anyway. But ultimately, yeah, we always overcorrect because in the
Mhm.
80s, 80s, early 90s, there was lots of nudity in movies.
Mhm.
It was almost expected.
Every R-rated, like, action movie was expected to have some boobies in it.
Pretty much, yeah. and then it's like, but and women were completely objectified as it's come out with Harvey Weinstein and all these other predators that were in the
Mhm.
business.
Mhm.
So it's and then in the 2000s we kind of got away from that. It just happened. I don't know. It's a lot of people were like, yeah, we're not going to do nudity anymore. It's really unnecessary. You don't need it.
Yeah.
So the way we've been conditioned, and also getting older, it's like it's a decency thing, at least in America.
Mm.
But again, there is a purpose for it. Like Christopher Nolan doesn't put Florence Pugh naked in that movie without a reason. I really like he's the kind of director who's there's a reason for that. It's like Oppenheimer. The reason why with that, it's like there's a scene where they're sitting there naked together.
Mhm.
Oppenheimer is very protective. Like everybody shit on him before, but with this woman, he can be completely vulnerable. He can't even be that vulnerable with his wife.
Mm.
He trusts his wife, but he
Mm.
can't be that vulnerable with his wife.
He's never been naked with his wife, you're right.
That too. Yeah, you don't see that. They've clearly had sex through the hole in the pants.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
but
He's like, "Turn around and turn off the lights.
with
I
more,
shan't be letting you see me."
yeah,
Yeah, what?
don't look at me. Put a blanket
Yeah.
over your face. But with more, he's British. He's an occultist. Um, he his background, he uses that imagery in a way that
Yes.
unfortunately most Americans can't understand. I'm not saying I understand it fully, but it doesn't bother me. I make fun of it because it's just I'm childish like that too. But at the same time, again, Dr. Manhattan is naked because he doesn't have to fucking wear clothes because he can do literally
Yes.
whatever
He's
he wants.
disassociated with humanity. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
point.
and
I get that.
he's invincible, so he doesn't care. Also, if I had dong like that,
I would
I'd probably
definitely
walk
shoot
around
him in his
naked.
penis, though. I'd be like, bang, bang, bang.